build your inner team is the last of our key concepts, and possibly the one which takes the most considering to understand. So the premise here is that we're not fixed. We can change. We're born with personality traits and genetics and our upbringing, the nurture, and that will determine a lot of how we show up in the world, but we still have room for manoeuvre. So rather than being just me, I can consider there are lots of different aspects of me or parts of myself that show up in different situations. And once I get to know those parts of myself and relate to them, I can start to make some more conscious choices about which bits I want to be active and kind of present when I'm in a situation, which bits I think have maybe been useful in the past, but I can dial them down a bit now or have them less driving the action. And when I can get those bits of me working together effectively, then I can become pretty unstoppable. So for example, if I bring into a situation the part of me which cares and is interested, the part of me which wants to work out with other people and collaborate how to move things forward, and the part of me which is committed and diligent and isn't going to give up, then those three parts working together can be very effective. If I come in and the part of me that tends to just speak before she thinks, and the part of me that gets quite overwhelmed and confused, and the part of me which is just undermining myself with, oh, there you go again, inner critic. Those three bits together, I'm not going to get very far. So getting to know the parts of ourselves, giving them a name even. My inner critic, my confident communicator, writing them down, mapping them out, and then having that awareness of part of myself. And let's recruit that, but let's get this inner team well configured. Gives people a lot of sense of control and confidence and purpose about who they are and how they are in any given situation. The reason that we're working with this here, with these activities, is that working in this way, and particularly with groups, is a really great way to practice picking up the new parts of ourselves. So, for example, the listener, the wise self, the noticer, the part that can notice, the choice maker, all of these parts of ourselves we're developing, growing, building when we do all of our activities together. So every time you do them, you're just building a little bit more of that muscle, and that's something that you can take forward with you for the rest of your life, really, into any situation. Similarly, if you're working to support a group, or that's your role is to be holding the group space, then you can be aware that that's what you're helping people to do. It's not just think about an issue or how to move it forward, but to develop the parts of themselves that's going to be able to be effective and comfortable and confident moving forwards. One of the things to note, the next level of awareness with this building your inner team, is the parts of us that we often feel are not so great about. We would like to see diminish. It might be the bits that judge ourselves, or the bits that can be a bit angry and prickly with other people. Just to stay with a sense of appreciation and compassion for those parts is really important, because usually when you do the checking, or you can see for somebody else that they've been established for a really good reason. If somebody's felt vulnerable or unsupported or a bit overwhelmed, then that self-protection, that self-defense can come out as a way of just covering up that bit which is struggling or hurting. And the difficulty can be that then that bit gets a bit habitual. It keeps coming back, even when it doesn't need to anymore, because things are a bit safer or a bit better resourced. So rather than going, oh, we don't want that part, let's push it away, the judge or the critic, one of the things we can do is just look at whether we can shift it a little bit. So maybe instead of being a self-judge, it can become a self-protector. And just by giving it a new identity or a new role, that can be quite a big internal change of our self-relationship. So that's slightly deeper work. These are conversations I wouldn't suggest that people blunder into blindly if you're working, unless you already have that brief or that agreement with someone that that's what you're there to do and you're trained to do that work. But just to have the awareness for yourself that if somebody is looking at their inner team and there's a part of them that's showing up they're not so happy with, encouraging them to be appreciative and kind to all of the parts of themselves rather than pushing something away or rejecting it out of hand is an important aspect of the work.